Picture this, I'm 17 years old, editing 10 videos for $100 on my iPhone, and I'm staying up till 4 a.m. just to make a few dollars. Fast forward 3 years and I've built a 7-figure content empire. I've worked with major brands and I help my clients get millions of views every single month. This didn't come down to luck or some type of secret advantage. This is about understanding the exact formulas and systems that took me from charging $100 for 10 videos to closing 6-figure deals in one day. In this video, you're going to get a live training where I break down the complete roadmap to make your first $10,000 with a social media agency. We're talking real numbers, real case studies, and the exact step-by-step process that you can follow to build your own empire. So without further ado, let's dive in. What I'm teaching you guys, I know it's how to make your first or your next $10,000 with a social media business, but if you do apply this correctly, I mean, you could probably make 10x it. You can make 100,000. You can definitely make 7 figures with it, because I have made 7 figures with this exact roadmap. And I'm gonna give you a lot of context about me if you don't know yet, because I think it's very important. It's like, why am I telling you this? There's so many people in the space that's like, I've had content companies, I've done this, but you're actually gonna see me and my journey and why I'm actually teaching it. So it's not theory, it is a proven roadmap. If you see this next clip, I am 10 years old, doing some nice little trick shots. And the cool thing about me is I've been in content creation my entire life. I could have put up a video when I was 6 years old on here where I was filming my, my rocks, my Legos, my dog. And I even could have put up a video when I was 2 years old, like just, acting in front of the camera. So the reason I say that, this is coming from a frame of someone that has made content my entire life. I'm not just like, oh, I picked it up one day. I've always made videos. I had trick shot channels. I had, stop motion channels. I had all that stuff. And the biggest thing, which I could definitely tell with you, is like content, has always been my flame. As we get like older, opinions, you're in high school, and I did my best to not let that flame go out. And so I just stuck to it. And just because when you stick to something, obviously the byproduct is you can become very successful with it. So speaking of football, this is not American football though. I started off at my high school filming for the girls' soccer team. So yes, I did content my whole life, but it wasn't until I was 17 years old, my senior year of high school, that I took it serious. And what's funny is this is my friend's mom's camera and it was broken. So I literally had to shake the camera because a piece of the lens was in the frame every 5 seconds. So that's all I had, that's all I knew. But I stewarded what I had. So I'd film, I'd have to shake that thing, get it out of the frame, and then I, edited it on my phone. And we'll talk about it in a second, but my first package was $100 for 10 edits. And this was before any of those AI caption softwares. Like I was in the trenches, typing on my phone. And when I knew that a personal brand was valuable, especially because I was providing the services, I had to build a setup. And this is all I had. I was a high schooler, I was broke, I didn't have anything. So I literally, it's a real picture. I put the microphone on the TV stand and the pillows on the TV stand to hold up the TV stand. And I'm in my sister's room when she just moved out, and there's, furniture and everything in there. But I just stewarded what I had. And I wanted to show you that because today, so I was 17, 18 during that. I'm now 21 years old. I have built a 7-figure company. I've generated billions of views. I've worked with major brands like Prime Energy, Happy Dad, GNC, UFC, Walmart, Kid Rock. I run all the marketing for his restaurant. And I've worked with 7, 8, and even 9-figure entrepreneurs. If I put them up, you probably wouldn't know them. But I just wanted to give you context of where I've been, where I'm at now. And these are just a few results, like maybe 1% of results that I've provided for clients. So to give you context of what I do now, my main company, Short Form Empire, we do A to Z for business owners. So we script the videos, we ideate them, we film them, we edit them. I mean, you can see over here, I'm literally in this video, and we post it for them. And I mean, you can see in the top right, this YouTube short got 30 million views for a client. They made $3,000 off of it. Down here, 42 million views for an NFL podcast in 90 days. I was 18 years old when I took that opportunity. I got bored this summer, started a new TikTok. Second video got 4 million views. And then you can see a few of my other clients and myself down there. But I'm showing this just to show you get both sides of me. You get I've made content myself. I've built my own content agency. I don't have the results on here of other agencies I've helped mentor, but I've literally helped 15-year-olds hit 10K a month with a social media business. So just want to give you context of like where I am, what I've done, and where I am now, just so you understand I'm not just some guy talking about content, because it's one thing to talk, another to actually do it. And with that said, if I can do it, if I can be in the trenches at 6 years old, 10 years old, and even 17 years old, I firmly believe anyone else can. Now, before I dive into the formulas and I give some like pretty in-depth formulas, I want you guys to understand the opportunity, because like even myself owning all these content agencies, I have to slow down and remind myself like, what is the market? What's going on in the market? So I like to say, and it's very true, that we're in the biggest creative gold rush in human history. Now, what is the gold? The gold is attention. And what is attention? It's the views, it's the follows, it's the likes, and it's ultimately the conversion. So if we go back to the 1800s, the gold rush was actual physical gold. Who were the people that made pretty much the most money in the gold rush? You had two sides. You had the gold, or you had the pickaxes and shovels. So right now, it's the same concept. Everyone's chasing for the attention and views, and so are we as business owners. But where the real gold can be made is giving these business owners that are chasing for the attention the tools, the pickaxes, the shovels, which is the filming, which is the editing, the strategy. Because I could give you dozens of stories of how I've sat down with entrepreneurs worth $100 million, and they're like, what is that video short form stuff I need to be doing online? Like, how do I start? Where do I go? And they know they need it, even someone at the highest level. So just trying to get you to understand that everyone's chasing for gold, chasing for attention. Doesn't matter if it's a real estate agent or an investor, or I've worked with fitness coaches, podcasts like The Raw Room, or even e-commerce products. I just signed a company that they have these supplements. Well, they've got to market it. How do you market it? With content. Just a few stats, which I find really interesting, is we're still very new. Instagram Reels, believe it or not, launched in 2020. So during COVID, 5 years ago, officially. YouTube Shorts was not until 2021, and that was like their soft launch. And then you have Facebook Reels in 2022, and then LinkedIn was not even until last year. They integrated short form videos, and they're still very new. Like, it's not really good UI, they're still adapting it. But I say that to say is like, it's been maybe half a decade, and people are just now waking up to it and seeing that they need these services. And you can see here it says 150 billion opportunities every day. If I'm correct, that's how many views throughout all the social platforms are generated every single day. And I definitely contribute to a lot of those views every day. But if you take Instagram and TikTok and X and all this stuff, every single day 150 billion views are generated. And I see that as a content agency owner as 150 billion opportunities. And what you'll see too is like with my teachings, I try to be as abundant as possible. Like, there's no such thing as saturation. There's no such thing as not enough opportunities. My services are not good enough. It's all in the mind, because I mean, there's 150 billion opportunities. Now, before I jump into the actual formulas, I want you guys to know that there's so many opportunities in the digital world of offering services. The next slide is like many, many, many types. But this kind of gives you a basic overview. You can provide photo and video services, and obviously there's so many industries, so many types of photo and video you can provide. You can provide social media content creation. You could be a content agency, provide services. You could even build out digital products, help these online educators build out products, or even help businesses to build out online digital products that funnels to whatever their service may be. Like, even for a real estate agent, for example, they could build a digital product of, you know, the 5 things you need to know when you're moving to Nashville, and that could be a lead magnet attached to their video. I'll jump into all that, but I want to show you this next slide, because I hear all the time, it's like, what do I offer in social media? Like, there's nothing to offer. Well, I was able to come up with at least 50 things to offer, and I didn't spend much time on it. But we talked about like photo and video. It's like, you can provide photography. Well, you could be an event photographer. You could be a wedding photographer. You could be a portrait photographer. You could be a videographer. There's hundreds of types of videographers. It doesn't have to be one. You could do drone stuff. You can do fashion photography. If we're talking about agency services, you could be a video agency. You could be a photo agency. You could work with just Facebook ads specifically. You could literally be a talent agency for content creators, an influencer agency. I've been able to work with a lot of those. A podcast agency, music video director, food photographer. And then we kind of get more on like the second funnel, but you could do stuff in affiliate marketing. I have friends right now that make 6 figures a month off of TikTok Shop. Well, that's short form videos. I personally service agencies for TikTok Shop. So I'm either producing the videos or helping with the strategy. So it's like, we're thinking short form videos. Well, it doesn't have to be just like a real estate investor. It can be for products. It can be for newsletters. I mean, heck, if you want to offer email marketing to someone, that's technically social media. You're getting them engaged. If you want to offer ebooks, templates, etc. It's a very long-winded way of saying that there's so many different ways to provide value in the market. And I'm not showing this to like overwhelm. I'm showing you of like, hey, there is an abundance of opportunity. Let me jump back into my journey and then I'll give you the exact formulas and systems that I've used to generate 7 figures with my companies. The biggest thing that I would love and challenge you guys is to be creative and explore. I'll show you in a second where I started, the packages I was selling, but I would never have gotten to where I am now if I didn't try this, if I didn't test this offer, if I didn't test this industry. So like as I'm planting seeds and we go through this, just think of the things you can offer, the industries you can hit, the things you can add, maybe the places that you can go. You know, you don't have to just service people in Springfield. I have clients all across the country, California, Miami. If we're talking about abundance mindset, it's very important to test, try, innovate, adapt. But in my opinion, it's most important to figure out what gives you the most life. You know, we're entrepreneurs. It sucks sometimes, but it doesn't have to suck as much as it should, especially if you genuinely enjoy what you do. Once again, I started making videos at 6 years old. I'm still making videos now, not just because it makes money, it's just because what I love. And it doesn't get any better than sticking to and making what you love. Like if you love making football videos and you test all these different things and you're still like, well, these football videos are where it's at, there's so much money in that world. There's so much opportunities. I mean, I know for UT football, they pay their guy a crazy full-time salary to just make videos. I always like to say too, there's no saturation. No matter what you're trying to go into, the market is not saturated. It just lacks your personality and determination. If you have a very unique personality and approach and you're determined to win, you don't lose. It's that simple. So if we apply this to my journey, you can see on the left, these are my amazing friends from high school. I started with that. I started with just these football videos, soccer videos, these TikToks. Then you've got me on the right. I thought I was such a cool entrepreneur, you know, falling asleep at 4 p.m. after school and getting back up and working. But I was testing and innovating and adapting and trying this and trying that. And I was finally able to land on what works. So if you do want to take notes, these next slides are huge. What I want to do for you guys is help you understand pricing and offering. Because my first package was $100 for 10 videos. But to get to $1 million doing that, like impossible. There's no way I could get to $1 million even in 10 years selling that package. So how do we create an offer and pricing that's so irresistible that people will buy? Once again, I'm going to teach you guys how to make your first or next $10,000, but you can add probably 2 more zeros if you follow this. And it starts with one thing, this specific formula. When you're providing a service, social media service, you need to know 3 things. Who is that person or business that you're wanting to service? And it could be multiple, it doesn't have to be one, but let's try to get as specific as we can because specificity is the easiest way to scale. So what is that person? And then what is their problem? And I'll give you examples for all of these. So what is their problem and their specific solution? So one of my favorite clients are typically real estate investors. Especially the ones backed with big funds because people are investing millions into their fund and they're just throwing money left and right. So for me, my specific person I'm trying to appeal to is real estate investors. I could go more specific. I could say real estate investors in the RV park world. And I could get even more specific of real estate investors in the RV park world that have at least a $10 million portfolio. You don't have to get as specific, but the more clarity, the better.
So that's my ideal client avatar. That's who I serve. And let me back up. The reason I'm saying this is because like I've served so many people. I've tried so many different offers. And the easier and better you can simplify who you serve and what you do, the easier and faster it is to scale. So real estate investor, we'll just say that. Their problem, they have a lot of problems. They lack the time to make content. They lack the energy to make content. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to say it. A lot of them don't know how to talk on camera. That's just the reality. More problems is that maybe they're not getting views. Maybe their views aren't actually converting. There's so many different problems we can identify, and the more the better, because we'll provide the solution for it. And their solution or desired outcome might be, I want to grow 10,000 followers this year. I want a consistent quality content machine. I've serviced 9-figure entrepreneurs where they didn't care about the vanity metrics. They're just like, I know I need this content thing. And my solution is if you can just post 3 times a week. And so, I have an offer built off of that. So if you have this foundation, give or take who you want to serve, their problems, and there can be multiple, and the solution you provide, then you can start formulating your offer. And to put it in simpler terms, you can just simply ask yourself or tell yourself, I help who achieve what through how. So I can say, I help real estate investors achieve a profitable personal brand in less than 90 days through short form videos. See how that's like super specific? It doesn't have to be, because I could even say, I help entrepreneurs achieve a profitable personal brand through short form videos. Or I help entrepreneurs achieve a consistent quality content machine through short form videos. But if you can answer that question, it's going to help you, because as we create our offer, we create our pricing, but also we go get the clients. We're just very clear on who the heck we're selling to, what we're selling, how we're selling it. And then you want to ask yourself, I don't think any of us want to be the guy on the left, but you do have to ask yourself, like, what do you genuinely desire to build towards? Some people don't want a big team. Some people just want to make 10K a month in revenue or profit. But I don't know about you. I want to make as much as I can. I want to be doing, why not do multi 6 figures a month if you can, right? But it's always important to ask yourself, like, where do you want to grow towards? Because we're going to reverse engineer to that level. You can be like this guy, which was like me at 17, editing 10 videos at $100, or you can be like me now, where I sell 5 or even 10K a month packages, and my team, for the most part, delivers it. So it's just always important to ask yourself, what do you value? What do you want to do? But also understand it serves a season. I had to be like that. I had to be in the trenches, as we say, so then I could be at that level. But I just think it's always important to be intentional about what do you really want to level up to. And for me, this next slide is really insane, because the 17-year-old version of me that was editing for $100 packages would have never saw myself selling what you're about to see unless I opened my mind and I understood this was achievable. So what you see here is a package that I sold, and I made $136,000 in one day, technically in seconds. This was one client, this was one deal, and it was $136,000. And for many reasons, it changed everything for me. This was less than a year ago. But the reason being is because, once again, I started at 17, $100 for 10 videos. And just by following the formula, I keep teasing it and not showing it to you guys, but by following this formula, I was able in less than 3 years, so like 2.5 years, to go from $100 to 6 figures in one day. And it literally just came down to the offer and the value in the formulas I'm about to show you. So I just wanted to show that, once again, to let you guys know, this isn't just me talking about theory. This isn't me just saying like, oh, here's how to make money. Like, I literally started from this, and here we are now, and I want to do everything in my power to empower you guys with the same value. So once again, going from the $100 package to $136,000 in a single day is not about luck. It's not even about landing bigger clients. It all comes down to the value creation. So it comes down to the value that you're providing and the intensity. I could have provided value, but if I didn't have like the intensity and intention of wanting to build this offer and actually sell it to someone, then it never would have worked. So one thing which you'll see I put right down there is that this framework never changes. Technically, I use the same framework for the $100 fitness coach, which I show you in a second. So this first formula I'm going to show you is from Alex Hormozi. I would say a lot of us know who he is. There's a reason I'm showing it because I feel like so many of us, we hear all these things that these business owners and gurus say, but we never actually apply it. This is the exact formula that I use to sell multi-5-figure packages. And it's the same formula I use to sell the $100 package. And it's very simple. Let's think of our ideal client avatar. We'll use the real estate investor for this one. What is their dream outcome? So you take their dream outcome and you multiply it by the perceived likelihood of them achieving it. And then you're going to divide that by the time delay and the efforts and sacrifices. So you might be like, Nick, what the heck does that mean? So to put it in normal words, let's say I have a real estate investor. That is my ideal client. Their dream outcome is what? Probably attracting investors worth millions. So I'm following that equation. So their dream outcome is attracting investors worth millions, and the perceived likelihood of them achieving that with my services, let's say it's a 9 out of 10. I've got the proof, I've got the credibility, I have the systems, and they're gonna achieve this in less than 90 days by only putting 2 hours a month of work in. And that's gonna create the value. Now, if you equate this out, it comes out of about $100,000. So if this was true and I offered this, there would be no issue with selling it for $100,000. So to slow down a little bit, if I was able through this to attract them 3 to 5 investments on and they really think it's going to happen, and we do it in less than 90 days, and they only have to put 2 hours a month in, then me charging $15K a month for 3 months is nothing. It's like you're telling me, say I'm the real estate investor, you're telling me I have to do this, this, and this, and it's only $15,000 to make $2 million. Why would they say no to that? They would be dumb. Now, I know this is like a very extreme example, and I'm not giving you like specific services, but let me give you an example. The real estate investor wants to land millions of dollars of investments, and I've actually done this for a client, which is why I'm giving this example. They want to, the perceived likelihood of them achieving it is a 9 out of 10. Why? Because I, as an agency, have the proof, the credibility, the systems, the testimonials. The reason why we're doing it in 90 days, that's just, up in the air. Maybe that's just the campaign we're wanting to do. And the reason they only have to do 2 hours a month is because I do all the scripting, I do all the filming, the editing. They sit down 2 hours a month. We film the ads, the organic, run it for them. They're good. So now you're seeing how I'm taking this equation, taking my offer and turning it into value. And yes, of course they would buy it on 15,000, but I could easily sell 100,000 because for them, it's just investing. I'm investing 100,000 to do X, Y, and Z to then get potentially $2 million. I mean, that is, I need to invest into that. So I'm kind of elaborating off of what I just talked about, but how do you apply this to clients? Like, how do we increase the clients? How can we increase what we're offering? Well, first you change the client. It's on the next slide, but if we think of the fitness coach I sold the $100 to, well, his dream outcome, he's a broke fitness coach. So his dream outcome, first of all, isn't big, but he's probably very picky. He's probably looking at every little edit, every little font, like he's got a magnifying glass. So his dream outcome isn't that great. Versus a real estate investor, they're wanting millions of dollars for their fund. So you can increase the dream outcome by helping them get bigger or more specific results, or you can change the actual ideal client avatar. Now, I talked about it a little bit, but if you want to increase the perceived likelihood of them achieving it, you can, once again, show them better testimonials, show them case studies. If you have a guarantee to your offer, I never offer guarantees, but if I was like running ads or something, you could add a guarantee to that just to make sure they're taken care of. We'll produce X, Y, and Z, or you don't pay, or we take X amount off the next month. And then the more you can lower this, the more valuable. So if you can make your system where the client does not have to put a lot of time in or a lot of effort and sacrifice, it's already going to be more valuable and you can charge more. And as we all know, money is just a mutual exchange of value. So the more value we're providing, once again, $100 for 10 edits or $5K a month for a full production service that's going to make you $2 million, I would say that is a lot valuable. Does that make sense? That's the first formula. I give you guys a couple more. So I just mentioned it. But why was my $100 package valuable? Because on a level it was. Well, it was valuable because I helped a broke fitness coach make subpar edits. It sucked because I edited it. And it was for his not so great program. So it wasn't a good client avatar. He wasn't even making money in general. His program wasn't good. And my service wasn't great. I was just making a few edits. Like, it was just a quick little fix. Now, the next concept, which we all know, is supply and demand. I got decent grades in high school, but I did college economics in high school, and first time I got a few Fs on that. So I'm not going to go into deep detail on this because this was the first thing I learned. But if we're talking about supply and demand with social media services, the supply is content agencies. Let's just say that. It's people, it's individuals, it's agencies providing content services. Once again, this could just be you're making photos for the football team, or people that need graduation photos, or you could be a full service agency like Gary Vee has, doing hundreds of millions a year, providing all these crazy services. No matter what, the supply is content agencies, it's the individuals providing the services. Well, what's the demand? It's the businesses needing it, it's the products needing it. And the reason I wanted to show this is I've been in the space since 2022 officially, so 3 years. And I was one of the first mainstream short form video editing agencies. So I've seen the whole short form space evolve. Once again, some of my clients, most of them at first didn't even know what is a YouTube short? Like, that's how new I was. So I've been in the market, I've innovated, I've adapted my company over time, and I've also coached dozens of social media businesses. So I can firmly say that where we're at now in the market, literally as we speak, is the supply has actually fallen off. Well, why? All these editing agencies, for the most part, have kind of fallen off, or they're just offering subpar packages and no one's really biting. And the demand has excelled. I mean, like I said, I have 9, 10-figure entrepreneurs that come to me and they're like, I know I need content. Like, all I hear is I need content. I need, what do I do with it? Or even have like 70-year-old business owners that are like, what's that like short form stuff? I need it. So the demand is through the roof right now, but the supply is a lot lower. And I would personally say the quality is a lot higher. I remember when I started my editing agency, 3 months after, like, everyone and their mother had an editing agency, which is fine. But most of those have weeded out. So I kind of give you this example more out of confidence of like, this is a really, really good time to start if you haven't, but to also nail down and excel in the space. And I'll just give you a simple example before we jump in the next formula. Supply and demand, it's simple. Let's think of Uber. There was a problem. I can't find a taxi when I need one. Well, they solved that. It's now worth billions. Airbnb, depends on the Airbnb, but hotels are expensive or booked up. Or I want to stay in the mountains in a nice little cabin. Well, now it hosts millions worldwide. Amazon, they solved the problem of I don't want to go to the store, I need things fast. Well, they're, I think, billions, if not trillions now, worth of that. And the reason I say that is money is just a thank you note for solving problems. So the real estate investor that pays me $5, $10K a month, they're saying thank you because I'm saving them time, I'm saving them energy, I'm driving them leads. Those leads are turning into sales, and those sales are worth millions. So it's very simple. You could charge a restaurant $200 for a shoot, great. Or you could charge an ideal client avatar that needs exactly what you need for multiple thousands a month if it genuinely drives it. So I just want to show the compare and contrast. This is what I like to call the time wealth paradox, and it's the exact formula that I followed to shift from $100 packages to then $1,500 to then $5K a month to then 6 figures in one day. And I love this paradox because not only does your agency grow, but you as an individual. I cannot be more grateful for the people in rooms that I've been able to be in for free. So I'll give you an example. One of my clients, she averaged $1.3 million a month with her coaching program, a month. And people pay tens of thousands to be with her. Whereas Daniel and I, we're filming for her. We just get to be in her house. We get to go out to eat with her. We get all that value because we're recording it for free. We know what her next book is about. So you have that side that's the good opportunity cost. But what I'm really teaching here is if you want to make good money, you have to solve rich people problems because wealthy clients will trade money to buy back their time. Broke clients are trading their time because they can't afford to spend money. So let me give you an example. The broke fitness coach, he cannot afford 5K a month because bro is not even making 5K a month. So he'll gladly pay $100 for those edits. Whereas a real estate investor, they have no problem paying 6K a month if they're generating, hundreds of thousands a month, or your services are generating that money and genuinely solving a problem. So in most case scenarios, depends on the level of the entrepreneur, because sometimes at the highest level it's different. But the more money a business owner has, typically the less time, and the more time, typically the less money. So if I'm using this equation and I want to make more money with my agency, well, I have to shift my offer and shift my pricing to appeal to that avatar. Does that make sense? And once again, you make good money, but also I've seen the most return on investment of just being at their house or being in the room with them or getting their free value or just being able to be friends with them. I'll show you in a second, but I've worked with celebrities, influencers, athletes, brands at the biggest level. And as great as that is, it's like the amount of wisdom and knowledge and connections you get from that is unquantifiable, which actually brings me to the next slide. If you really, really, really want to excel your business and you want to do it fast, this is another formula that I give. It's pretty simple. It's your unfair competitive advantage. So I'll give you mine, and then I'll kind of like ask questions to get you guys thinking. But you can see here's Michael Chandler. I've been able to do, UFC fighter. I've been able to do a lot with him. Like I said, I've worked with all these big brands, Kid Rock, his restaurant. Yeah, I just get to be with some amazing people, but it's because of my unfair competitive advantage. So what are a few of mine? One is my age. So I got to start at 17. That obviously sets me apart, gives me a lot of time and energy in the space. And it's my confidence. Now, yes, I'm talking about myself, but more of confidence in my business and the market. Because if you would have met me like 3 years ago, like, bro, I was shy. I didn't know how to ask questions. So yes, that confidence grew, but really my confidence in the market, understanding offers and prices, and understanding how to appeal to these celebrities and influencers and 9-figure entrepreneurs. So that's my unfair competitive advantage. So, if I want to go land another UFC fighter, I have that unfair competitive advantage. Next, which we're all blessed with right now, is geographical location. Nashville is popping. It's growing like crazy. I live downtown. None of those buildings existed 4 years ago. So it's a very economic heavy. We're flowing, we're succeeding, but also a lot of big names are moving here, a lot of big brands. And that's one thing, but I like to talk more about like the energy side of things. When that type of energy is going on in a city, it's a lot easier, it's a lot faster. Like we think of Springfield, no hate to Springfield, but think of Springfield, Tennessee versus Nashville, the amount of opportunities and abundance and money that's flowing through there. So the more you can get towards that energy, the more opportunities that will be flooding. And we're close to it. Once again, Nashville it's a central hub of America. People from New York can be here in 2 hours, Chicago, Miami, less than 2 hours, Austin, and people just flood through here. So we all have that. Next is network access. Once again, from my persistent pursuit and working with brands and doing right by these people and fulfilling, I've been able to get into rooms and conversations and email threads and masterminds of people that I never would have gotten to, which grows myself, but also grows my business. And then time in the market is another unfair competitive advantage of me being one of the first short form video agencies. But I also say that for you guys, like we're genuinely in a new shift where if you can establish and build a foundation now, you'll be set. It's kind of ask yourself, like, do you have maybe family connections? And this is just an example in real estate, in finance, in the fitness industry, in the coaching industry, in the celebrity industry. Start thinking of those things. If not, you're 2 connections away. Maybe you have a family that has a friend that's in that space, and see how you can get in there and maybe work for free or do a paid trial or figure out some type of opportunity cost that'll build your confidence and portfolio. In the early stages, you have to sacrifice, but if you can get those opportunities, it's worth it. So think of connections, think of events in Nashville you can go to. I'm iffy about events. You have like the small networking events. It's whatever, but if you can invest money into like true events where people are there to learn and to grow, get in those conversations, get in those rooms, not even just to sell people, but to get market feedback. Like if you want to service real estate investors, pay to go to a real estate investing group. You don't have to go to sell, maybe just go to figure out, oh, do you have social media? oh, sick, what is the agency, what do they do? And you can just get a lot of market feedback. Maybe you grew up in a specific industry. Maybe you grew up in like the automotive industry. Maybe you grew up in the fitness industry and you already know their pain points. You already know their desired outcomes. That gives you a unique perspective, at least from the marketing standpoint, because you know what they need. And then real quickly, think of like, well, not even think. I think everyone has a unique personality, a unique story, and a unique presentation style. If you can identify that, not just identify, but build off of it, then you'll be able to leverage that to get you more opportunities. If you speak multiple languages, that helps you tap markets that most people can't. And then just any technical skills that you don't or other people don't have, those will help you. Now, you guys will like these next 3 slides. These are theoretical numbers, but I'm showing you potential packages. Okay, what can we offer? How can we package it? And what can we price it? So a beginner, once again, if you actually want to use these, you can definitely add a few hundreds to it if you want to. But a beginner offer would say something like, oh, I take product photos for Etsy sellers. It's 25 photos for 200. Great. That's a photo offer. Or I film highlight videos for youth sports teams or nonprofits for $350. It's a 2 to 3 minute video. It doesn't have to be photo or video. I build simple landing pages for affiliate offers for $400. I design podcast cover art or graphics for $250. The reason I'm showing you this, and I'll show you 2 more levels, is just to get you to visualize you can serve this avatar with this service for this price. So once again, if you're shooting, let's see, if you're filming a highlight video for a nonprofit, odds are they're not going to be able to afford a lot. Whereas if we're filming, a commercial for a real estate investor, the pricing will be a lot high. So those are basic examples of how we can take photo, video, affiliate, digital products, email marketing. The next stage is intermediate. So this is where we're putting in more time and attention. We're solving bigger problems. I love this example right here. I edit 15 videos a month for real estate investors for $1,000 a month. You get 10 clients, bro, you're already at 10K a month. If you're like me, I delegate everything. I'm gonna delegate that editing at the cheapest cost I can, but the highest quality, and I'm gonna be making $7,000, $7,000 or $8,000, and not do anything because I put a project manager in place, I have editors in place, I'm just bringing in the clients and they're fulfilling, and that's how you really scale, and that's what I've been able to do, and I'll show you. But I just wanna show you this to show you, well, technically with that offer, which that is actually a really good offer, if you have the right profit margins, you get 10 of those clients, you're at 10K a month. If you don't want to fulfill it, you build a team and you're profiting 7K just by doing a few things, theoretically. So you have that. If you want to be a UGC creator, transparently, I like to make money on the side. I've made over $100,000 in the last year just making content of products for brands. Why not? If I can make an extra 100,000, why would I not? It's this is a good example of I create unboxing content for Amazon sellers, 6 videos for $500. Just another example. But once again, just kind of want to show you the level. And then this is where I really lean towards now. A lot higher than this. Once again, you can add more thousands than what I'm showing you, just showing you surface level. Let's see. I create ad creatives for Shopify brands, 10 short form ads for $2,000. I think that's a fair investment if they're going to be making tens of thousands of dollars from that ad. There's another example. You only need 5 clients for that. And if you don't want to do all the filming, hire a model. Great. Hire her for the day, have all the scripts ready, you're done, you're scaling. She would definitely convert more than I would anyways. So there's that example. If you're going to do marketing flows, once again, you can charge $1,500 a month, maybe more. But really, I just want to show you that you hit an avatar, you have a good offer, you have a good price, it matches their pain points and where they're trying to go. Money does not matter as long as it matches the value. And once again, if you want to, you don't want to be the guy on the left with all the books. If you want to be the Simpsons character chilling, you do the strategy that I gave you and you build a team under you to film, to edit, to manage. So this is a little repetitive and we'll jump into the last formulas. But after everything I just showed you, I just want to reaffirm to you that there's still millions of businesses that have not figured it out. And that's why I'm here teaching. If I thought the market was scarce and I need to keep all the clients for myself, which I would never do, then I wouldn't be teaching this because I would be trying to get all the clients possible. but I can't fulfill millions of businesses. I'm just saying this once again, whether we're talking about Nashville, Murfreesboro, Spring Hill, Tennessee, America, the world. I've served clients all across the world. There's millions of businesses that have not figured it out. And you can solve that problem with editing. You can solve that problem with ideating, with scripting, with filming, with posting, with managing, with email marketing campaigns, with affiliate marketing. There's so many different opportunities. And I always like to say this quote as well, is if you have the right offer and you have the right avatar or right person at the right time, you will win over and over again. So if we use the $136,000 wire that I got in that one day, I'm not gonna go into details, but I had a really good offer that solved this business owner's pain point for many reasons. He was the right person because he was an 8-figure entrepreneur and he needed this pain point solved. And it was the right time. He just got out of a season where he's like, I need this. So I had the right offer at the right time to the right person. And that $136,000 investment, he thought it was justifiable. And therefore it created, I would say, a heck of a win for myself and my team. Now, the last thing I'll add before I jump into kind of the last part is you have to adapt and innovate. And this has helped me and it's also hurt me. The reason it's hurt me is I've gone through seasons of stagnation where I would not let myself listen to the market. I would not innovate. I would not adapt. I would not look at competitors here and there. And I would say it was mostly just because of like naiveness and just being young. And I just wasn't aware and I didn't have anyone to tell me this. But you have to adapt and innovate, not to be like anxious and ahead, but to be the strongest one out there. So right now, like we're seeing a lot of shift towards AI, whether it's in the content in and of itself or the creating of the content or the automations and workflows. So that's something to keep in mind. I see all the time on my feed right now how these multimillionaires are like, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your 30s, if you're in your 40s and you have time, look into AI workflows for business owners. It's like, well, if you master some type of offer and you add that to content, then you're great. I would do it, but I'm focused scaling my education company, so I'm not focusing on that. In-person filming, that is actually the number one factor that helped me go from charging like $2K a month to a minimum of $5K a month, because I was able to solve that issue of the business owner does not have time. So think of adding in-person filming. Think of maybe optimizing for each platform or even performance-based pricing. I'm just saying this to be aware of, like, as you grow, as you innovate, add things. Don't be afraid to test things. Don't get too distracted. So that's the one side, but you have to keep pushing. You have to innovate. I mean, I think of like Amazon. If they just stayed at like ordering books online, I mean, they wouldn't be what they are today. But they've added over time. They added Prime. You can now order through Whole Foods, and they just keep adding. So to stay ahead, just be aware of the market, follow the best of the best in the game, see what they're doing, why they're doing it, maybe why they're not doing it, and test the theory. Always try new tools and techniques, which this is very prevalent for us. The amount of AI tools that we have is very overwhelming to me. Listen to evolving client pain points. That's actually a big one, because I've seen, even with real estate investors, the market's shifting. So even their pain points are shifting. So how do we innovate? How do we adapt? Do we need to lean our offer a little bit? It's always something to keep in mind. Let's talk about sales really quickly. And the reason I'm going to go quickly is because I hate sales with a passion. I always say people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. And the reason I say that is, let's say I'm going into a meeting right now with a real estate investor because they're like, I kind of need this content thing. And I just sit down and I'm like, I'm Nick, I'm great. I've got all these content things. This is how we help people, whatever. And they're just like, that's great, but you didn't even hear my pain point. You've got to sit down and show them how much you care. Who are they? What is their journey? What are they going through? What are their goals? What are their pain points? Because what you can do in real time and also after the meeting is you can be able to articulate and take your offerings and your prices and align it and match it for them specifically. But once again, if you bust down the door, you sit down at the coffee shop and you're just like, you need me, it's not going to work. People can smell the desperation and scarcity. Once again, you might hear a pain point that you probably could have never predicted, or they might not even be a good fit for you. And then you have to send them to a different agency. The last thing you'd want to do is sell something on someone that you can't help or provide, and then they want to refund and all that nasty stuff. I've gone through that, so I don't want you to. So people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. How can you sell without being salesy? Well, network authentically. Go to events, go to workshops, talk to people, get that kind of feedback. I'll tell you, I've gone to events and they've asked me a question about like personal branding or content creation. I'm like, of course I'll answer it for you. And me answering it for them planted a seed. Some of them reached out right then and there, but down the road, they're like, oh, I see his Instagram or I see his website. Can you help me? And I wasn't like answering their question like, oh, by the way, you should work with me. I was just very natural, and that planted seeds. Not all seeds grow, but the more you plant, the luckier you get. Once again, get in rooms that have your ideal client avatar and focus on solving problems, not selling services. If you're focused on selling services, you're focused on the money, and that's a very scarce and a very short-minded mindset. Whereas if you're abundant and you want to solve problems with them, the byproduct is money. Once again, the $136,000 wire, I didn't care about the money. I wanted to solve this entrepreneur's pain point that he was going through, and the byproduct was that six-figure wire. So I just think authenticity and abundance always wins, and people can really smell it now. So the last few things I'll jump into is delivery and retention is huge. Let's say you got that offer, you sold the client, now it's time to deliver. Always under promise and over deliver. If you offer 20 photos, give them 25. Why would you not? If you offer 5 videos and you can give them 7, give them 7. But not only over deliver in the offering, over deliver on communication. Let them know, hey, this is what to expect. And if something happens, hey, this happened because of this. So communicate proactively, try not to give them any surprise. And ultimately, from the sales to the servicing the client to even retaining them, make sure they feel value and heard. I've had some clients that were paying $7,500 a month, and they're like, listen, the season that's coming up, it doesn't make sense. And we had to pull them back to $4,500. Of course I want to. I want to serve you. I want to make sure you're taken care of. And so you just have to listen and get feedback from them. And then lastly, happy clients, of course, is better referrals and easier sales. I have so many referrals sometimes I don't know what to do with, but also I have so many white label opportunities. And if you don't know what white label means, basically other media agencies or masterminds will sell my services and they'll fulfill it through me, but promote it as them, which I love. Like if we have this media company that wants to sell my services and it grows their business, go ahead. I don't want the glory. Like you can take the glory. So we edit hundreds of videos a month for other media agencies, other podcasts. And then on the affiliate side, our number one affiliate was making about $10,000 a month in commission just by sending people. So they were sending people to us passively, but it's because we had that good reputation. We were fulfilling for them. And that just shows what happens when you do a good job. So the last thing, which I know this was a lot, I only had a short time period, is if this opened your mind to a lot, and I hope it did, first pick the industry / niche you're passionate about, or you want to learn about, or you want to take over, and identify those unfair competitive advantages. And keep in mind, they can evolve over time. My unfair competitive advantage, one of them is the real estate investing world, just because I've done so well for those clients. And I've literally have clients that can say, yeah, this video landed a 7-figure investment. So identify what that is, what gives you life. Define their dream outcome using that value formula. And then you want to build a few offers off of it. Build a small offer, build a medium one, and build a large one. So I'll give you a basic example. Real estate investor, $1,000 for 15 edits. That's package 1. Package 2, 1,000 or 10 edits and 10 scripts, $2,500. 30 videos, 30 edits, 30 scripts, posting for you, $5K. See how there's like different levels to it and different value that we add to it. And one might appeal to a different real estate investor than the other. And price based off of value and not time. Now, the last thing I'll say, I've said this since I really started my entrepreneur journey, is take the risk or lose the chance. The more risk you take, the more opportunities you get, the more money you make. So go to these workshops, go to events, ask around, run ads. Like the more you just go, the more you're gonna win, because 99% of these other content agencies and social media, they don't do anything. They just sit around like, why am I not getting clients? You're not doing anything. So I always challenge you, try to take more risks, get yourself out there, run ads, go to events, spend money on events to get client feedback, because you never know what opportunity that will turn into.